Today I'm going to talk to you about what is probably the worst part of my job, and that's breaking bad news. It always makes me feel a little bit anxious and a little bit worried. I don't want to inadvertently say the wrong thing and make the whole situation worse for the family. So I've come up with a set of tips that I use myself to help things flow smoothly. So I know that I'm going to do my very best that I can when I'm telling this bad news to the family. My first tip is to really know your patient, know their clinical status, and any recent investigations or tests that they might have had. Know the significant ones and know of any outstanding tests that aren't back yet. Ideally have a rough idea of when we might be getting those back. It helps the parents appreciate that you fully understand their child and the clinical situation that they're in. Tip number 2, take a friend. If the family have built any long-term relationships with anyone in your department, it's brilliant to take them with you. It gives the family someone else to be there to emotionally support them while you're giving the information. It's also nice sometimes just to have a hand to hold. Tip number 3, have a structure. It's going to be an emotionally charged conversation. So know what you're going to say before you go in. Have an idea in your mind of exactly what you're going to say. Don't feel that you have to overstep those boundaries and carry on once you've said what you need to say. Tip number 4, be honest. Evidence shows that patients and parents value honesty above everything else. You don't have to know the answers to everything, and sometimes we don't. All your job is to convey the information that you do have. Remember that you don't have to be an expert, but you do have to be kind. Tip number 5, keep it short. You're about to unleash a maelstrom of emotions on this family. They're not going to remember if you launch into a blow-by-blow of every single clinical thing that's happened over the last period of time while you've been treating their child. So keep it really short. Have 3 key things that you're going to tell them, and make sure that even if they're asking you for more questions, you can reassure them that more questions can be asked later. All families are different. Some families want to know everything all at once, others don't want to know anything. Everyone processes things differently. So keep your answer to 3 key points and reassure the family that if they have questions, all of these can be answered at a later date. The last point isn't really a tip, it's about crying. Everyone has their own comfort zone. Some of us are criers and some of us aren't. If you do cry, it's fine, don't worry about it. Families don't mind if you show emotion. They can see that you're human just like them. Make sure you provide the family with some tissues and some space after you've spoken to them. Ideally have a friend or relative stay with them and let them know that you're always available to come and talk to them further. And these are my top tips for when you have to break bad news.